Then what we're going to do now is set up a role play with Jeannie, who's an associate of mine, who's offered to play any role we need here. And what I think might be relevant, given what you've told me, is to select a situation with one of your sisters, perhaps Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A situation that went badly for you. Okay. That went badly, and that might be a opportunity for us after we go through this to see how it might have turned out differently if we added different things to it. But initially to see basically what happened. Okay. If we go through the role play, Jeannie doesn't know anything about it, so she would need from you a kind of a briefing of the situation that you want to redo, okay, and how your sister would behave. That's what she basically, what her attitude would be, what her feelings might be, and just to keep the story simple, a beginning of the story, okay, the situation, how it started, some reference point as to what kind of a middle, what would take place, and then how it would end. And then we'll improvise it, okay, from that point. Now, one thing that's rather important is that Jeannie is a therapist, so whatever you do, even in role play, she can tolerate and deal with. Okay, you can do anything you want. Okay?
Okay.
A freebie, it's called.
Yeah.
Okay, is that okay with you, Jeannie?
Sure.
All right. Okay. So, can you select a situation that might be useful? One from the past. Could be adulthood, childhood, anything.
One that really sticks out in my mind is when I was a teenager.
Okay, tell her about it.
When I was a teenager, my sister had a car, and I asked her if I could, and I had my license, and I asked her if I could go, I think, to the mall and take my mom, and she said yeah. And when I came back, when I parked the car, I hit her tires on the curb. And she was watching out the window. And she just had this look on her face like she was going to kill me. And she came running outside and screaming and yelled at me for, you know, not parking her car properly. And it just struck me that she was just always very mean and very angry. And always, you know, whereas somebody else, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it made me very paranoid. And it made me just very, like, I never wanted to drive her car again, which, you know, she just was very mean. That's the only way I know how to describe it. And she always, I never wanted to ask her again for anything, really, because she was just so, you would think, you know, I'd really done something horrible. She was just always very unhappy and very mean, is the only way I could describe it. And even to me and to my friends that came to the house and stuff. I always felt like I had to tiptoe around her. That's...
Okay, so how would this particular incident begin, just so we keep it into like a short storyline?
Well, it could begin either with me asking her if I could do it and then coming home, or just when I came home and she comes running outside.
Okay, well, we can't do the running here, okay, so we can...
Well, no, I mean,
yeah,
you know, just...
But we just, for efficiency, we can have it when she comes in, okay...
Yeah.
And she's seen what bothers her, okay? And then she would come in and she would then begin... How would she begin?
How would Jeannie begin being my sister?
How would Jeannie simulate this so that it
She would just say, oh, what the hell are you doing? You don't know how to drive. You just hit,
and,
you know, my...
And go on from there. Okay. What kind of things would she criticize? What things would she add to that, just in general?
She would just, in general, she would just say, don't ask me to drive my car again. You're not driving my car again. You know, you don't know how to parallel park, you know.
She'd be very critical.
Yeah, she would just be critical, definitely critical, and she would, be angry and
And what would you do?
I would fight back to her to a certain degree. I mean, I would be scared inside
Right.
because she's my older sister.
Yes.
And I wouldn't fight back as much as I'd want to, but I would just say,
A little bit.
yeah, oh yeah, I'd give her, yeah.
Okay. And how would this thing, if you, after this little fighting back and criticizing, how would it probably end?
Undoubtedly with me saying, fine, I won't drive your car again.
Okay.
You know, I would be the one to just bring it to an end. I mean, I wouldn't keep arguing and fighting. I would just say, fine, you know, I won't drive your car again.
Okay. How angry does she? I mean, does she yell? Does she just steaming? What?
Yeah.
On a scale of 10, what is Jeannie supposed to do?
Oh, 6, 7, you know. I mean, she wasn't raging. She didn't come out, you know, raging, but it was just always that look, you know, that just really nasty. Just nasty mean. You know, not like violently mean.
Mm-hmm.
Just nasty, you know. Unhappy, angry.
Right. Do you know enough, Jeannie, or do you need more briefing?
No, this is good enough, yeah.
Okay, so let's assume that you just come running in.
Yeah.
Okay, you won't have your weapon. You
Yeah,
run in,
right.
jump down, and let's begin.
Jennifer, I can't believe what I saw.
It was an accident.
What? An accident?
It was an accident.
Jennifer,
So-
I shouldn't have let you take that car. I knew it. You probably went and got your friends too, didn't you?
It's
and
a
took them
big
to the mall
car.
with you.
No, I took Mom with me. And it's a big car, and it's not easy to parallel
Well, why
park.
did you ask me to park it, to drive it if you can't park it? You don't know how to park. You don't even know how to drive right.
It's just, I couldn't see, it was parking on the right side of the street, and I didn't have a feel for the curb yet. I don't have a feel for that yet.
Well,
I'm still
then
learning how
why
to
are you
park.
asking me to drive my car if you don't even know how to park?
Because I need to learn, and you're the only one that has a car that I can drive.
Thanks a lot. Using my car to practice on. I mean, my gosh, what am I supposed to do? You know, drive a wreck around?
No, but I drive it better than you do. You don't even go on the freeway.
Well, that's because I really take care of my car better than you do, and I don't think you ever will. So I don't think I'm ever going to let you drive my car again.
Well, that's fine.
Jennifer.
I won't drive it again. That's fine. But I take good care of your car when I'm driving it.
Yes.
And I
right.
didn't even do any damage to the tires. I mean, you can't even see anything. It's not like it's been in an accident or anything.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I saw it, because if I didn't, then I don't know what might happen. And I don't know what would happen the next time, so I certainly don't believe I can trust you to take my car again.
That's fine. I won't.
Thank you very much. And I don't want any of your friends in my car either.
I know. You make that obvious all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even ask anymore.
Well, that's good.
Fine.
They're all irresponsible, like you.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's the
Fine.
end?
I
Okay.
would say fine.
Okay, tell me how you felt going through this. This is sort of a...
It's funny. It's funny. I felt nervous.
You felt nervous?
Yeah. I mean, I felt like I was really talking to my sister.
You felt like talking to the sister?
Yeah.
Were you scared at all?
Not so scared, but just always on edge. Like,
On edge.
always have to be worried about, her. It wasn't rational for her to be that upset over that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand where it would come from, really.
Okay, you understand. Okay.
Yeah, why? I mean, things happen, you know.
What was it like to play that sister? Just intuitively?
Yeah, I felt anxious inside too, and I felt angry, self-righteous, like probably looking for a reason to be angry, and perfect reason here, and not feeling very good about myself. Well, I could lord it over my little sister, and get some kind of satisfaction that way.
Which is, I'm sure, what she was doing,
All right. Let's redo this, okay, according to our recipe, okay? We'll get you started on it. What would you like to be able to do in a situation like that? It starts the same way, okay?
I would like to just be able to apologize and say, I'm sorry, and make sure there's nothing wrong with the car. I mean, I was only a teenager. I would offer to do, if there was anything wrong with it, I would offer to repair, but I'd like to tell her she's being very irrational.
Okay. Why don't we do it one more time? You start the same way.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Only this time, take it more in the direction of what you really want to do. Take some chances. Okay? Okay? And look, and even if you're in the middle of it, okay, and it doesn't come out the way you want it, just say cut. We'll stop. You go back and do it again. Okay? This is your own workout. Okay? Give me some sense of what part of this is the most difficult for you.
Just confronting somebody who's angry at me. I mean, sticking up, well, not sticking up for myself, but just dealing with somebody who's angry.
Okay, may I make a suggestion then? Second time you do it, move in a little closer. Okay? When you're ready, move in a little closer. Okay? I'll be here to help if you need me. Okay? You do it on your own if you want. Okay? Should we start it again? Why are you laughing?
Just because I feel like you want me to move in closer to exert myself more, to, so I'm not
To see what
backing
it
down.
feels like.
It's just, it's
To
fun.
see what it feels like, you know? Okay?
Yeah.
Jeannie
I'll
can
sit
be
with
loud,
that.
but she's very gentle.
I'll try.
Okay, try it again. Start it again, sis.
Okay. Jennifer, what the hell's going on here?
I'm sorry. It was an accident.
What?
I pulled up and I didn't park very well, and I just hit the tires on the curb, and if you look at them, there's nothing wrong with them. The car's okay.
Okay, well, I think we ought to go back out and look at it, because I'm
Fine.
feeling very nervous
That's
about
fine.
this.
Let's go take a look, but if I did anything wrong, I'd be happy to fix it, repair it, whatever. But I just barely hit the curb, and I'm sure your car's okay, your suspension's okay, your tires are okay. Everything is fine. I didn't do anything to your precious car.
Okay, I'm very nervous about my car, you know that.
I know. You
Yeah.
paid for it. You take care of it.
This is my first car, you know, it's not like, you know,
I know, but you know
brand
what?
new car.
You know I'm a good driver, and you know I wouldn't do anything.
Well, I'm,
You know,
I'm
that
kind
I
of
wouldn't be
wondering whether
responsible
I
for.
should let you drive it by yourself.
I understand that, but I still feel this one time around, you know, it was just a parking thing. It's not like I rear-ended somebody or it was with another accident with another car. It was me and the curb, the car and the curb. That's all it was. So the car, I think it's going to be fine. And I think if you go take a look at it, you'll see that it's fine. And if you have a problem, just come back and talk to me, and we'll talk about it.
Okay, well, could we go out there together and look at it and see, you know, when you scraped the curb, did you repark it and set it in a little bit away from the curb, or
Yes.
did you leave it on the curb?
No, I pulled back out,
Uh-huh.
and I reparked, and it's fine. I mean, I didn't hit the curb again, and it's fine. And take a look out. Take a look.
Well, I don't know why I'm so nervous about my car, but it, you know, Jen, it just it's like my baby, you know, this car, and it's so I am pretty nervous about it, and I guess maybe I got all worked up there when I looked out the window and saw that, you know, because then I think, well, geez, maybe when you were at the mall, you might have scraped somebody, you know, and even if you didn't mean to, scraped another car or something, and you know, so I guess I'm a little nervous.
Well, I think you know that I'm a good driver, and I've been driving for a long time. The boys taught me to drive from a real young age. I know how to drive, and I drive very well.
Okay.
You know, everybody has accidents. Everybody, you know, hits the curb. You see people do it all the time. I'm sure the suspension's okay. Don't go getting overly dramatic. It's fine.
Well, maybe what part of the problem is that I haven't ridden with you enough, you know. But I guess my confidence isn't as strong in you because I haven't really let you drive when I'm there. So, you know, that I haven't been able to kind of build up my own confidence about you.
That's fine. We can take a ride together. You can, you know, let me start driving when we go together, and you'll see that I'm a good driver. I take good care of your car. It's just sometimes these things happen, and there's no need to get so upset over it.
How do you feel now as you're doing this?
I feel fine. I feel rational.
You feel rational?
Yeah, I feel more kind of like an adult
You feel more like an adult.
than the
More
first
like
time.
yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you think it had an impact on her, an effect on her?
Oh, I don't know.
And then
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Jeannie was far more, you know, not berating me and.
Okay, what was the effect she had on you?
Well, she's her rationality, your logic, I allowed to come in and hear your logic, whereas before I wouldn't allow it in.
You didn't.
Not at all.
That doesn't help.
Can we try one more little thing here?
Mm-hmm.
Because what I'd like to offer you here is a chance to deal with not just the issue of the car, but her manner, her anger. Okay? Never really talked about that. Okay? I'd like you to
Sorry, I
crank it
didn't
up
get to
again.
Crank it up.
And if I can coach you a little on this.
Okay.
Okay? Let's put the issue of the car second. Let's deal with her attitude first. Her attitude towards you. Okay? All right? Basically, we're going to assume something that you've had a little bit of insight here about self-respect, about people respecting each other, and not abusing each other for any reason. Okay? And basically what you need is the way she treats you right now, if you don't like it, if you think that the way she's approaching you, and I need you to really sort of crank it up to be more angry and mean, okay? You got real soft real fast. To practice dealing with that, in the sense of setting limits with a person and telling them, look, if you want to talk with me, you know, I don't like the way you're doing it, okay? Try it again?
Okay.
All right.
Same scenario?
Same scenario, but this time, Jeannie, turn up the heat.
Okay. For crying out loud, Jennifer, I'm telling you, what is the matter with you? I don't understand. Listen, don't talk to me, don't talk to me.
Sue, it was an accident.
You
okay?
took
I
my
just
car
pulled the
and you
car up
plowed it
to the
right
curb.
into that
No, I
curb.
didn't plow
You just
it into
plowed
the
it
curb.
right in
You're
there.
exaggerating. I
am
hit
not
the curb when
exaggerating.
I was parking. I'm
Jennifer,
not used to parking on
I
that
really
side
made
of the
a
street.
mistake. I really made a mistake trusting you with my
No,
car.
you did not. You didn't.
You know,
I
this is
handled
my
that
baby,
very.
my car,
No,
and you just...
I drove that car very well, and
Excuse
accidents
me, I'm
happen.
going to interrupt here. You're getting caught up in the car thing, okay?
Sorry.
I'm trying to give you some practice and focus in her attitude, okay? Her attitude is she's treating you with disrespect,
Yes.
okay?
I'm
She's been,
looking down.
okay, before you get into the business of defending yourself, okay, I'd like you to get some practice dealing with her and saying, no, wait a minute, you know, I don't like this. Don't do this to me, okay? Change what you're doing right now, okay?
Okay.
Try it again?
Okay.
Okay.
It's not about the car.
One more time, Judy.
Okay.
You're going to be real hungry when you're done with this.
Take 4.
Jennifer, I am so upset. Look what you did to my car. You just came in here and you just plowed right into the curb.
I'm sorry
You didn't
for
even
what happened.
think about what
I'm
you were
sorry
doing.
for what happened, but you need to calm down.
Well,
I would
how can
appreciate it
calm
if you
down,
would just
Jennifer?
calm
This
down
is my
so we
car.
can talk for a second, because I can't handle it. If you're just going to yell at me, and we're not going to get anywhere
You know,
with
I
this.
really think I made a mistake. I made a big mistake letting you
No.
borrow that car.
Listen, I'm a very responsible person, and I don't want to talk to you on this. If you're going to be
I don't
angry at me,
think
we're not going to get anywhere.
responsible
When you're
people
ready to talk
would
to me
plow my
and
car
come up
into-
with a solution for what happened, I'll be happy to talk with you, but I can't talk to you like this.
Well, I mean, all I do is I look out the window and I see you hitting the curb with my car.
That happened. Yes, it did, and it was an accident. And
And that's all you have to say about it?
yes,
Okay, let's. You look bewildered.
I'm not really helping. Sorry.
All right,
Judy.
how did that feel to deal with the way she was treating you?
It was fine. I mean, I felt like it was very natural, and I could say that.
That you could say that.
But you're right. I mean, I can see how when somebody's talking to you like that, you get caught up in either defending yourself or apologizing for what you did, rather than just saying, I can't talk to you like this. This isn't going to get us anywhere. You know, I didn't feel like I was making sure I didn't get caught up into it, and it made me feel a lot stronger and a lot more like, that's it. You know, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to engage in that.
Yeah, I think maybe, you know, kind of going back in time, what's happened with your sister, she probably came on much stronger and really more ferociously than Jeannie came on. And it probably take your breath away or just catch you a little off guard.
Oh yes, definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
All right. Which meant that you was really not very well prepared.
Yeah.
for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right.
And I was younger. You know, I was 5 years younger. You know, she had the benefit of being the adult, and you know, I was more the scared little sister. But
Okay. The idea here is to let go of the idea of the scared little sister, okay? And that you are an equal adult entitled to equal respect, okay? And nobody may abuse you, okay? And you don't have to defend yourself. You may have to explain, okay? But you don't have to take any of that from older sister or anybody. What explain? Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah, no, it's just funny. It's just funny. I mean, at that time, that's definitely how it was. You know, she made it very hard.
Okay. How does this relevant today between you and your sister?
Today,
What we're doing right now, okay?
well, actually, it kind of makes me feel better about that one situation. But today, I can talk to my sister in a lot more rational. If anything, to be honest, today, I'm the one who can. She doesn't have a temper like that at all anymore. She doesn't at all. And when we talk and communicate, she will. I don't know how to say this. It's like she looks more at me because I'm the more rational one. I feel like she's learning from me in the way that
It's a change there.
Yeah.
Are there any people today who can come on like your sister who might kind of throw you a little bit?
Nobody in my people that I know, I mean, strangers might, but
Do you ever
not really.
anticipate that it could happen? I mean, do you ever sort of anticipate this thing might happen that would bother you?
I mean, like with either a friend or a family,
Yeah, anybody.
anybody.
Yeah.
I don't really deal with people that are that irrational on a. Yeah, I'm
Stay
serious
away from
anymore.
them.
Not yeah, exactly. Really, I don't really deal with these people.
Okay, so then maybe
Sorry.
it's sort of enough to go back in time and say, okay, take that old situation that bothered you, and now you have a picture of a different way of handling it.
Definitely.
And maybe it just soothes your memory.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's not like I hold it against my sister or anything, but I just remember how mean she was. She was just very, very mean. I mean, she's not that way anymore, so, you know, there's not, you know, it's not
Yeah,
like I could
I'm
ever
not
say to her,
concerned
gee, you were, you know,
Yeah,
so
about
mean.
her. What I'm concerned about is
How I can react.
if you were confronted with a person who was doing something like that, whether you would mobilize in yourself the feeling of, no, wait a minute, setting limits, you don't do this to me.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, I deal with the public in my job, and every once in a while you'll get a client who, on the phone, like I said, my first reaction sometimes is I do kind of clam up a little bit. Like if I've got somebody on the phone and they're very upset about a job we did or something, I'll clam up for a few seconds, and then I'll say, okay, you know, I'll try to find, you know, I see this is what you need and this is what we'll try to do, you know. But at first, my first reaction always is to like, I clam up for a little bit till I can think about it in my head. All right, how am I going to handle this?
Make a suggestion to you. The way you get a better reaction time to this, okay, is by sometimes practicing a different way in your imagination. Okay? If you could run something like this a few times in your head so you felt like I could do it like that, you'd be prepared for anybody who did this, or so. It's a matter of really, sometimes you get used to doing something a certain way, okay, and unless you practice a different way, you fall back into the old way a little bit. Then you catch yourself when you come out of it. But you look so different each time you did it. Did you notice?
Yeah, she got stronger. She got stronger. Mm-hmm.
Well, I do feel now. I mean, back then I didn't, but I do feel now. And it is funny. Over time, like I said, my relationship has changed with my sister to where I feel that she would never treat me like that now. I mean, I feel like I've become a strong adult.
Okay.
And I kind of feel like with most of the people you deal with, and if you conduct yourself in a mature, kind of strong, competent manner, people, I mean, not everybody, you know, but people are have less tendency to
Yeah.
treat you like that. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's true.
Yeah. One thing I hope you sort of take with you here, and that is you can take almost any situation from childhood with any of your siblings. If in thinking about it, it upsets you or scares you or bothers you and you feel like it's unfinished, there's a way to kind of put it to rest a little bit. It's to change your feeling today about how you would deal with it again. It's not enough just to believe I could. It's helpful either to imagine doing it or actually do it so you kind of feel it three-dimensionally. Because once you've done it, you know, even one time, you've done it.
Yeah. And it does help. It's true.
Is there any other situation you would want to deal with? with her or anything?
I can't even think right now. I mean, I'm sure there is, but at the moment,
For me right now.
yeah, I just kind of feel,
Is this enough right now?
yeah.
Did we work you really hard?
It's just, you know, I mean, yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. It's just there's so
Did
much.
we work you hard enough?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Stevie.
Thank you, Jeannie.
You're welcome.
Did you want to comment on it at all as, another pair of...
Well, I found it hard to get out of the role. Once I was getting this mean sister role, it was, feeling this power and exercising this power over you, and not letting you, come in to share any of it was intoxicating.
Wow.
And so it was hard to.
Intoxicating.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's a very interesting point, because it's possible for people to get really intoxicated with anger and fear because it is emotional.
Yeah.
And they just can't control it.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing.
Uh-huh.
But how to snap them out of it, or how to kind of catch them. All right. Do you have any sense, in terms of variety, of what will catch somebody off guard in one of these rages?
Though I've never tried it, I imagine, and I don't mean, when I say snap back at them, I don't mean, like go after them, but just say, hey, shut up, I'm not taking it. Well, probably not in a negative way, but to just say.
No, I think that's good, because I
Sometimes
kind
you
of
might
wanted you
have
to do that.
Yeah.
To say, like, come on, Sue, knock it off.
Yeah.
Like,
Cut
get
it
real.
out, yeah.
Kind of, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't have had back then, but now I could definitely see how that might, just to let them know,
Yeah.
I'm not taking that.
Right.
So to either snap at them in some way to get their attention, or
The way your older sister treated you, was that a birth order thing?
It's hard to say. I mean, she was older. But some of my other older siblings did not treat me like that. So I don't know. I'm sure it's because I was the little sister, and things rolled down, Maybe it happened to her, so then she was passing along to me.
There is this problem here, is when you have people who bully others, they'll go after what they think are more powerful than the younger ones. Okay, they don't go after the bigger ones.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, they go after kids, they go after the younger ones, which is really an indication of how insecure they feel to have to do this. I want you to pick on somebody your own size. What I was thinking as you're doing this is, in the middle of this rage and this intoxication, I wonder whether humor would help. I mean, really offbeat kind of humor. Like, somebody is so full of their self-importance and their power and anger. What kind of humor? What could you say to them?
To stop them.
Just to, surprise them. I mean, think of something absolutely off the wall, unexpected, that you say to a person who's very angry. Can I tell you what I would say?
Yeah, please do.
Jeannie, I sparkle when you're angry.
Oh yeah, I was thinking, your veins popping out of your forehead there.
Or just something, you look just absolutely just so enchanting when you're in a rage. I mean, it's like, what did you just say? Now, you have a sense of humor, okay? People who are very angry at that moment, the humor is devastating to them. You cannot make fun of them. You have to take them seriously. Oh.
Let's ask again, were you often put in the position of being the little sister, and did your bigger sister, have that kind of attitude towards you that you were a little girl who was always making mistakes, and banging a car was kind of a typical kind of
For when I was younger, yes, that happened. It's strange. I was like the little sister, and she could be mean to me, but at the same time, I was the little sister that she was very proud of. You know. So it's hard to. I wasn't always, I didn't always get a lot of. She was a very negative person, but as we got older, it kind of started to. The relationship we got closer as we got older, and that she didn't do that as much. And she does it to this day. If anything, I feel now she admires me. It's kind of like she's my little sister.
Was it different from what you expected a big sister to be like when she was getting angry all the time? What did you want her to be saying?
I just didn't want her to be angry. Everything that I ever did, I can just remember so many instances where she was just angry, and I just would have wished that we could have, just played more and just been closer. Her anger kept us from being close. And that was just, it was really too bad.
Was she an angry person who was taking it out on you because you were the little sister, and so therefore you were somebody who could be taken out on? Or
I think she was angry at everybody, at the world. So I don't think it was anything personal, but she did take it out on me. I mean, there was a time when we were sitting on the couch, and I wanted the pencil she had, and she didn't want to give it to me, and I was like, "Give me the pencil." And she said no, and then she went, "Here." The pencil just went up my nose, and I got a bloody nose. And I mean, just things like that you remember just because she was just so angry. I mean, I was just a little kid, I just wanted the pencil. But just things like that, I don't think it was, like I said, because I was the baby. I just think it was, well, because I was younger, I'm sure, and she could get away with it, but I don't know.
I think she took advantage of you because you were younger.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Were there any advantages of being the youngest in your family?
When I was really young, probably up to age 10, maybe to age 11, I was the baby. I felt very much loved. I felt like I had this wonderful big family. A lot of stuff did center around me. Yeah, dressing up, my brother's dressing up as Santa Claus at Christmas, and it's like I kept the family, having a baby, so to speak, kept the family kind of happy and wanting to, do things at the holidays and having Easter egg hunts and stuff like that, but it just seemed like there was a real dramatic change. Definitely by the time I was 12, I was not the baby anymore. That had gone by the wayside. Things just really changed in the family.
And what role did you adopt then?
Then I became the, what you would almost consider the oldest sibling of the family. I just took on the role of taking care of things, taking care of the house, taking care of my mom. By the time I was a teenager, they were coming to me for advice.
You turned the birth order idea upside
Yes,
down, didn't you?
definitely. Yeah. I've been the youngest and the oldest. I don't know how it happened.
And you didn't want to be anything in between, right?
Yeah. Bypassed being the middle child.
But then that's kind of funny because in Adler's book, when he's talking about the youngest, he says that the youngest is often the baby but can be the pillar of the family. That Joseph, in the Amazing Dreamcatcher, at first he's spoiled and pampered and his brothers hate him, and then he turns out to be the one who rescues him.
That's me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What happened when you were 10 or 12 that made things change?
Oh, I think as my siblings got older, their lives got more out of control, and they were getting involved in either substance abuse or alcohol, and my mom became ill, and I don't think any of them felt that they could handle it or deal with it. She started to go to the hospital a lot, and she was hospitalized, and so I just think as they got older and their lives got out of control, as I got older, I tried to make some, not control, but sense of the chaos and try to put some order into the family. And I tried.
Did you think that you were missing out on something by having to change from being to be? Was it a burden being the eldest?
Yes.
And so did you want something else?
At the time, I didn't know any better. Now, I can see how much. I tried to grow up really fast. I tried to do all the right things. I missed out a lot on just being a teenager and just going out and having fun. And I've missed. I don't know how to lighten up. I don't know how to not be responsible and go to work and be an adult. It's very hard for me to just have free time and enjoy myself.
We could do another role play about that. Judy would love it.
Being a child.
Yes, being carefree. The way you find it difficult to be.
It's hard. I mean, I love to go to Disneyland. I feel like a child when I'm there, so I love to go there. Just because I feel that I feel safe going in there. I feel like it's for children. It's a very childish thing, and I do feel when I walk through the gates, I do feel like a little kid. And that's why I love to go down there, because I do feel. I'm sure most, that's why millions of people go there every year, because you can let your guard down and just be a kid.
What prevents you from doing it now, without going to Disneyland?
Just always feeling responsible, always feeling like I just having responsibilities, and always, having to go to work or to take care of this, always having to have everything in order and doing the right thing, basically. So, I mean, I do. It's not like I don't have any fun by any means, but I'm definitely, if I have to get up and go to work, I have, at 6 o'clock, I have to be asleep by 10, else I start getting, it'll make me anxious if I get to bed really late and I have to go to work the next day. And just I have an overwhelming sense of responsibility. And sometimes it makes me crazy because I wish I didn't feel so responsible. I wish I could let things, go.
Do you let other people take some responsibility and share it?
It ain't easy. It's very hard for me. Yeah. And I have to catch myself. Even I have people who I direct at work, who I manage. And sometimes it's hard for me to let them learn and to just say, oh, take this and go do what you need to do. Because I always think that I have to do it all. And that's not helping them, I know. So I have to catch myself a lot. It's not easy.
Have you ever put on a Superwoman outfit? On Halloween, I mean.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't need the costume because I feel it all the time. I'd like to take the costume off.
That's another one.
Could I ask the last question? Do you think that, you say that now you feel this kind of burdening sense of responsibility? Is that something which you think has come out of your family and that experience of being with your family, or has it come out of some other experience?
No. My overwhelming sense of responsibility definitely comes from my family and the way I was raised. Basically, there wasn't anybody to take responsibility, so I did. None of the 6 in front of me did not take any responsibility for themselves or for anything that was going on in the family. So basically, I kind of said, well, somebody has to. And I didn't want to be like them. When I was growing up, I just remembered feeling I didn't want to be like them. They all fell kind of in the same path. They were all headed down a real bad road. And I said I didn't want that. So I ended up trying to do everything and be everything. And it was very hard.
And that carried on into the way you behaved outside of the family as well?
Mm-hmm. It's very hard. It was a very, it was a very hard role. I mean, I just stepped into it because I didn't know better because I was so young. And it's a very hard role to shake. I mean, once you are responsible and you do good at work, you know, a lot of your self-confidence gets wrapped up in your sense of being a responsible person and, you know, taking care of things. And it's very hard to let go of. There's so much wrapped up into it.
We were talking about about fiction and stuff.
Yes.
As a psychologist, do you see yourself as a Sherlock Holmes character who can find the truth about a situation and put it right?
You are so perceptive. Yes, my favorite fictional character. As a matter of fact, I don't know how many times I've watched Jeremy, the English actor who played Sherlock Holmes in the series. Jeremy Brett. I mean, it's not only are the stories fascinating, but to hear him unravel his logic. I feel that way as a respectful investigator who wants to get down to the core, to the truth, but not to convict a person of a crime, a truth that will liberate a person. And it's based on the idea of insight. If you present a person respectfully with an insight that gives them an aha, it's like, oh my gosh, that's true. It's sort of like unlocking the door here. And it's not, and at that point, you can usually see the kind of affect and almost somatic responses to it. The person has been doing something for years and years and years, but they consciously can't describe it. They don't, you know, but then you put it in a form where you tell them not only what they've been doing, but how it got started. In a sense, you put the whole formula together. It's pretty convincing if the person is open to it. There are also people who fight you and don't want to hear this.
I remember, though, you said to me before that that you kind of thought about Columbo as well, in the sense of not giving someone an autopsy, but more sort of stumbling around.
Well, this is kind of Adler's style. I mean, having never seen him in person, but having heard the stories about him. I mean, Adler was a slightly wrinkled suit, and Adler was a good model insofar as a very comfortable, casual, easy-to-talk-to person, not a sort of an impeccably dressed, you know, impeccably groomed, you know, penetrating authority. He was a sort of people described him like a kindly old grandmother. Okay? And his suit was a little wrinkled, and he had some cigar ashes on his vest, and maybe a little bit of, you know, whipped cream from the pastry. I mean, there was a casual charm which put people at ease. He also had a great sense of humor, and he put a lot of things in terms of images, and also putting things in the sense of modesty. This is why the Socratic approach is so appealing. You know, Socrates essentially said, "Hey, I'm ignorant, but so are you. Let's take a look together. What's going on? I'm just going to ask you some questions." You know, I don't know what's the truth. Adler was kind of the same way. It's like, you know, could it be this? Could it be that? Well, maybe. And that Columbo image, you know, it sort of conceals that brilliant intelligence inside. But the point is, it's not there to deceive. It's to put people at ease. And in fact, some of the best Adlerian therapists are people who are very relaxed and very friendly. You know, at times, you also have to be very flexible. There are times when you deal with people who don't need that. I mean, I dealt with a man once who was very abusive to his family, and his wife was scared to death of him. And I knew I didn't have much time with him. And so basically what I did in the session is I didn't come on like Columbo. I came on like the Terminator. And I basically let him know that, and I needed his wife to see, that I wasn't afraid of him, and that he needed to know that what he was doing to his family was cruel and nasty, and it was time to stop it. And he was kind of shocked, and she was thinking, oh my God, he's going to kill him, you know, something like that. But, you know, to have that flexibility, but for the most part, the Columbo image, I think, fits very well. I mean, a good example of this is Kurt Adler. I just saw I've seen Kurt Adler work, but he's almost like, and he's unfortunately died 2 years ago, but he also had this Columbo work to him. It's like he's harmless. My mentor, Sophia de Vries, was a brilliant woman with incredible intellect. She literally fooled the Nazis when she was in Holland. But she had this wonderful, warm, grandmotherly feeling. And so I would say that to some degree that's our style. It doesn't fit every therapist because it has to be a natural thing in your character.
But it's to kind of stumble around looking for clues, but not to do it in
You
a way.
appear to stumble around. And you know, part of it is like you don't say to a person, you know, your problem is this. You never do that. You know, yeah, I just analyzed you. And no, it's like, you know, could it be that this might be the case? Maybe. I mean, I could be wrong. It's easy for the person to turn it down, which is why the person will keep listening. And as soon as the person gets a little, you know, defensive, you might say, well, you know, perhaps this is not the right time, or maybe this is a mistake. You know, you back off. And the point is you retain contact, you retain trust. You don't cram it down a person's throat.